How's it going, guys? Today I'm going to be featuring the Submers, the Tier 7 Premium American Destroyer. It's been a while since I've really even tried to play Tier 7. I think a lot of it had to do with trying to dodge CVs, and before the CV rework, no one played CVs at Legendary Tier, so that's why I started playing there, aside from Ohio existing now. It was just mainly to not have to deal with carriers and carrier spotting. And, well, I guess even now, after the CB rework, obviously the first week was horrendous. And then, after the next update, they did reduce it, carrier's effectiveness quite a bit. And now at Legendary Tier, there's still not a whole lot of CVs anymore, which is great. You can kind of dodge CVs at Legendary Tier, unless you run into like a sweat div that's diving with the carrier, which does happen kind of often. But yeah, anyway, came back down to play at Tier 7. Luckily, no CV when we're in Summers, because Summers has garbage AA. But also, I guess on the enemy team there's, for some reason, so many Jaegers. And also on our team there's so many Jaegers. A bunch of cockroaches in this match. And yeah. Unfortunately, I guess one of Summers' downsides is its detection, but for all intents and purposes, Summers is basically a wolf in sheep's clothing. It's a Legendary Tier Destroyer at Tier 7. I guess you can say it's the American Shima, but also its guns are nothing to scoff at. It actually out-DPMs quite a bit of enemy destroyers. I do get outspotted there, and unfortunately, they actually have teammates that shoot destroyers, which is not ideal. Usually, they just shoot the battleships, and I'm gonna have some issues if Hampshire gets to stick around while the Jaeger is also here. So I call target on Hampshire, hoping our battleships delete him, especially because he's broadside. But unfortunately, Jaeger does push in and gets me spotted. So all I can really do now is try to fight him, stay angled to Hampshire since it only does have AP, and Tier 7 destroyers are armored enough that it can ricochet 203 AP. But yeah, Jaeger launches a bunch of torps. He also has a torpedo reload booster, and then it turns out there's actually another one here, which is really unfortunate. A little too much pressure, so now it's time to smoke up. I'm not sure how we dodged all of those torps. 2 Jaegers. What is that? 24 torps total. I'm not sure if they launched all of them at me, but it looked like it was quite a bit. But yeah, Jaeger trying to run away. He is spotted by the DD coming from Charlie, and I'm kind of hoping we can finish him off. Unfortunately, he does go unspotted, and all I can do now is try to blind fire, which isn't ideal. I was kind of hoping our DD from the right would keep him spotted a little longer, but yeah, now the Jaeger that's on the left is just trying to torp my smoke, so it's time to leave, and I'd rather not sit in there too long. That gets me torpedoed. But yeah, unfortunately, one of the Jaegers that we got really low escaped. I don't think anyone else shot at him, though. I think if someone did, maybe we actually get one of their DDs off the board, which would have been kind of nice. This second Jaeger, though, is sticking around, and I mean, even though I have the subsurface venture, I think that's what it's called, that's reducing my reload for my main guns by 10%. I mean, 8 guns on, like, I think we're at 5-second reload is, yeah, it's still pretty nasty. But yeah, now I'm just going to try to reverse into the cap. Maybe we can capture it. But I do need to be careful with how far you reverse, because if Jaeger's still there and torping the corner of the island, I might just run into them. Jaeger is still sticking around, and the thing that I needed to worry about may become a problem now. There is also a battleship charging in behind me, and yeah, here comes some Jaeger torps. One of them hits the island, which is great. I can actually escape, and yeah, I'm not sure why this Jaeger is sticking around. He's not gonna win any gunfights. They only have 3 guns. I think Jaeger has the worst DPM in Legends for a destroyer. Pretty sure. I mean, it's basically a tier 3 destroyer DPM at tier 7. And yeah, not sure why he's stuck around. We do end up finishing him off though, which is great. And now we can actually capture B. And now it's time to make a choice. Which way do I go? Do I go to A or do I go to C? And the way things are looking, our friendly Jaeger is getting chased by a Gajimata. So I figure I could go and help him. And there's also kind of a lemming train of battleships pushing through C. So there's potential that I can torpedo them and maybe get some dev strikes and a little more damage instead of chasing a DD in a torp boat. But yeah, Gajimata though, as a Pan-Asian, only has deep waters, so I don't have to worry about torpedoes. I only need to worry about him actually using his guns and shooting at me because I do have only 7.5k HP. Gajimata gets me spotted and I'm also located. But yeah, Gajimata actually uses his guns, which is concerning, but he does start smoking up to, I guess, hide. I think if he just kept sailing and just kept shooting, he probably could have finished me off before I did anything useful. And I don't think there was anything that could have, I guess, helped me aside from the Jaeger shoot at the Gajimata. But then again, Jaeger has bad DPM, so there really wasn't any reason for him to be afraid, I guess. But yeah, if you smoke up and reverse back into your smoke, I mean, with the torp boat, there's only one thing that you should be expecting, and that is torpedoes to show up. Because smokes attract torpedoes like a moth to a light bulb, and even the Jaeger dumped torps for a smoke as well. So if it wasn't my torps, it probably would have been Jaeger's. But now, I'm not sure where that one enemy Jaeger that escaped on low HP went. He is not this way, it's pointing at the battleships that were here. So I know I'm not going to get spotted by him. And even if I do have a smoke available. And I mean, I doubt they'll be ready to shoot at me since I'm not actually located. So that means he's definitely not pinging and has no actual knowledge of where I'm at. Friendly battleship though, pushing into 3 Connecticuts. Not sure if that's a good idea, although one of them is still charging in. Kind of expecting him to at least ram or trade with one of them. Trying to get torps on the Connecticut at the back, especially because he's the one that's full HP. But unfortunately, he's sailing so fast that my torps aren't going to catch him before he gets behind the island. So I just torped the one that beached. And yeah, I don't know why he beached. I'm not sure if he was afraid of the other friendly battleship that was there. But he did end up ramming, and yeah, now there's just 2 battleships left. Their destroyer is unaccounted for, and all I really need to do now is just capture and do my job spotting, and I guess now torping and eventually finding the Jaeger that ran away. I have a feeling since he was so low and didn't really accomplish much, he's probably just torping from like max range or something. But yeah, Connecticut didn't get off the island soon enough and ends up eating a bunch of torps and getting dev struck. But yeah, now it's just this last full HP Connecticut who is on the border and understands that there was a Jaeger in front of him that way. So now he's turned around and trying to run. Yeah, not Jaeger. Connecticut does drop his torp planes for the cap, which is not a bad idea. Ideally, if there was a destroyer with better AA that had more range, you could technically possibly spot them, not on the map or like physically, just with its AA shooting, and then you could have an idea of where it's at. I do decide to just start smoking up and farming Connecticut with my main guns because he did eat a Jaeger torp and he was flooding, and actually is still flooding, so I'm trying to get a fire and maybe see if I could get him to proc his damage con. Launching 2 sets of torps. I'm going to hold a third just in case those miss and he gets very close. And I'm just hoping that the Jaeger spots the Connecticut one more time before he reaches my smoke, which would be nice. But instead of staying at the gap to spot the, I don't know if it's on purpose or unfortunate, Jaeger and that one island is going to stay in between them just because of them sailing in opposite directions. But luckily, Connecticut does actually get spotted just before we reach the 3 cam mark. Not sure if he would have had RGA or not, but he is going to eat those torps and he is dead. But now, that last Jaeger, it's pointing to the top left corner of the map. That's how far he ended up running away. And I'm gonna fast forward it here because yeah, it just took that long. I don't think we actually found him until the end of the match. So this is going to pretty much be the end of my match. Unfortunately, we're on 4 kills. And if we were able to finish off this Jaeger at the start, we would have had our Kraken. But unfortunately not. Yeah, our game ends, and yeah. A legendary tier ship at tier 7. Kind of like the Plymouth. I mean, there's a reason it's a CE and hasn't even returned, like the Mainz or Wichita. I mean, its guns can out DPM a lot of the destroyers at tier 7. And it has 12 torpedoes, an American Shima. Not sure what they were thinking when they released this. But yeah. Almost a 4K match in Summers. The first time I'm playing it again in a very long time, and actually the only destroyer that I would ever recommend the American Torpedo guy. All the other destroyers you should definitely be using one of the gunboat guys, probably Halsey, because it's focused on guns and finding destroyers, which you should be doing in stuff like Fletcher's. But I mean, I guess people do what they want. Torp build a Fletcher with 3 bars, taking away 10% of their HP. But yeah, anyway, use Gleaves, your basic torpedo build, and yeah, still not using the skill that gives you more conceal, but trading 10% HP. I still think that's useless. But yeah, anyway, that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave a like and subscribe for more, and share it with your friends, or leave a comment down below on other ships you want to see in the future. And till next time, aloha.